Hello guys, Rocking here, and today I'm gonna bring you a little guide on how to do Waycrest Manor. Now, on this dungeon, the very first thing you wanna do is pull these 8 mobs that you have here on the entrance, or invis spot them. Now, my recommendation is try to pull them if you're with a PUG, because with a PUG it's very likely that people do not have invis spots, or it's more likely that you die and you're gonna need to release and use that space to walk through. So it's better to kill them off. Once that pool's dead, most normal route to take is just go left to the witches if you're with a POC. With an organized group, you may take right, but my suggestion is just take left. There you're gonna find the captains and the other friends and the witches. Be sure to move the witches that cast the wording candles. If not, the only important interrupt you have is the shield from the captains. You just gotta kill them off and try to pull as big as possible. A good thing to keep in mind is that on the witch room you have two little pools on the side, and on the second witch you're gonna need to move. So my suggestion is clean the room before you start doing anything else, because it's likely that you pull that, and that can be very problematic when you're already on the boss fight. Now, when you're on the boss fight, it's very important to remember to interrupt the ones that are not attacking the tank, because the one that's attacking the tank is the tank's job to interrupt and so one or two casts, while the other ones are your responsibility to interrupt so they don't damage you, because they will cast to any random player, while the one that's damaging the tank is only gonna cast to the tank. Now, these witches have some special mechanics each one. The first and second one are the most important ones. The last one is just an AoE and that's it. But the first one, you gotta break the mind control. If not, the witch is not gonna take damage. And the second one, you gotta move. If you don't move, you're gonna stack damage into yourself and your party. A little extra tech that you have with this dungeon is to use a warrior tank, because on the witches, the warrior tank can spell reflect one of every two casts. The other one you interrupt very late with the tank, you reflect. Now, if you have a warrior DPS, the warrior DPS can reflect some spells on this dungeon, but it's gonna be a little harder, because the warrior DPS has to be actually looking forward to what casts to interrupt and when. Once you have finished the witches, you're gonna continue going on the hallway, going to the tribos, basically. Now here on this hallway, you gotta be a little careful, because you don't want to pull double captain. If your group's not organized, double captain's gonna be a disaster. And also remember that every week this is changing a bit, so the witches can pop out, and if you get the wrong witch, you're gonna need 3 interrupts if you pull double captain. So my suggestion is pull one of the captains, then the other one. If there's a witch there, well then do it on the first or second pull. Okay. Now, when you start cleaning the patio, you gotta be very careful, because the dogs on the patio trigger major affixes, meaning bursting, bolstering. They also get raging. Well, raging is the worst of your issues with them. They also trigger spiteful, so you gotta be very careful with them, because if you pull the dogs plus the elites, you're gonna get a bunch of damage when the dogs die, if it's one of the other affixes, and then you're gonna get another set of damage when the rest dies. And it's very likely that if it's like bolstering or spiteful, that half your group dies or you wipe if you pull them all at once. So you gotta split it up, okay? Be very sure to split it up. So once you have finished cleaning the patio, you're gonna go to the other wing and start pulling stuff from there. Because especially if you have used bloodlust before, because for the three, my recommendation with PUGS, not with organized groups, with PUGS is to use bloodlust again on the tree. So you're gonna clean trash and stuff. You can also do the pull I'm doing right now, which is pull from the side, pull in the middle the rest of the stuff that you have left, and kill the mini boss together. If your group is quite decent and they're doing mechanics and all, and the damage is decent, you don't need bloodlust for the tree. The tree is just uh pretty much a punching bag. If you kill the soul thorns, and your tank knows when to burn it, so it's just a punching bag. So you don't really need bloodlust, but you gotta be a tad careful with your pack. Now, another important note of the other wing when you're pulling the other wing and stuff. There are these dudes that cast the big yellow circle that silences you. You don't want to be hit by that, especially if you're the tank or the healer. You cannot be hit by that because that's gonna mean that your group's dead or you're dead. If you're the tank, you're dead. If you're the healer, the group's gonna die because there's a lot of damage from that side. Now, if for some reason the DPS of the AoE of your group is very high, but the single target is quite low, which was the case on this group I was at the moment, with that I recorded this video. Now, my recommendation is okay. If the single target's low, you can just go to the pig, kill the pig like we're doing right now, and after that, when you get your bloodlust back, you're gonna go kill the tree. I mean, it's up to your routing, to your tank, and to the damage profile of your group. This case, we're just killing the piggy. Now, for the piggy, important mechanics, you have a frontal, which is tenderized. You gotta dodge that. You shouldn't stand in the green puddles and you wanna kill ads as soon as possible. Now, the servants, if possible, you're gonna encap them for a long time, but if it's not possible, you gotta kill them before they get to the boss. That's it, and then you can kill them pretty easily. Okay, guys. Now, when you're gonna kill the tree, you have a couple things to keep in mind. Okay. First of all, quite literally, don't stand on fire. Lightning is gonna come every now and then. You're gonna get a fire puddle. That's for breaking the boss empowerment. Don't stand on it. It's just gonna damage you. Doesn't give you any benefit. Just move away and don't touch it. Now, second thing that you have to consider is you gotta stack with your tank. So when the soul thorns are cast, they are very easy to break and your group doesn't really have to think or move. You just stack on tank behind boss, break the thorns, and the tank's gonna probably depends on the tank you have and the level of key you're doing, but your tank's gonna break the empowerment of the boss at 20 charges, 30, 40, 50 charges, never, depends on the level of key and your tank and its resilience. Okay? Now, when your tank does break that, thorns shouldn't be up. If your tank breaks the empowerment with the thorns up, you're screwed because damage is gonna kill one person at least, the person in the thorns. Healer is gonna suffer a lot. It's not a good idea. Also, if your tank breaks the empowerment of the boss, which is very likely above a 15, actually, that you gotta break it. You gotta dodge the little ghosts. You shouldn't touch the little ghosts. You're gonna dodge them, move away from them, because they deal a little bit damage and they can kill you if you touch too many. After you've dealt with the witches, the piggy, and the tree, you're gonna go downstairs and you're gonna finish cleaning trash up and get ready for the last two bosses. Now, in trash, up to this point, the only special things that you're gonna have is not it's nothing new actually is the mini boss and the jumpy dudes but after Lord and Lady Waycrest. Now the mini boss that you have downstairs down the hallway, that mini boss is a little tricky because the debuff that it puts on the tank, actually if your tank is a warrior, that's a spell reflectable and deals a crap ton of damage to the boss. Now and the rest of casts, you should interrupt the ones that you can, and the AoE, it's not interruptible. You shouldn't pull that together with the dogs because bolstering is gonna make it unbearable. So you gotta be a little careful with that. And that after that, pretty much you just go down, kill the witches, interrupt them so they are not on the candles, kill them as fast as possible too, and then you're ready to fight Lord and Lady Waycrest. Once you start fighting Lord and Lady Waycrest, well, basically you have two important things to do, or maybe three. Okay, number one is well, basically, don't stand in the green circles. That should be dispelled or expired and overhealed if it's necessary. But you're not gonna stand on those circles because if you stand on one, when it goes off or it's dispelled, you're gonna get another. First thing. Second thing, if you're a caster, you can technically interrupt Lady Waycrest, the interruptible cast, of course, but you gotta be like by the border. And finally, every now and then, Lady Waycrest is gonna cast the Swirlies, light blue silver Surrealists on the ground. They hit a lot, so you gotta dodge them. Now, extra little note about that. That fight, remember that you gotta shoot through Lord Waycrest's HP 4 times. First time is gonna be healed, second time is gonna be healed, third time is gonna be healed, and the fourth time is the last one. It's when Lady Waycrest is gonna come and help him fight with you. So that's when the boss fight ends. So once Lord and Lady Waycrest are done, you're gonna go downstairs to the final boss, and in that little pathway, you're gonna have the jumpy dudes I mentioned before. Well, basically, the strategy with them is to stack with the tank, kill them fast, or you just go like a chicken downstairs and kill them with boss. Either way is not that dangerous. Those little dudes are not dangerous, but if your plan is to get downstairs, don't aggro them from the tank, okay? Okay, so once you've dealt with the little jumpy dudes, you're gonna go to the last boss, and on the last boss you have some things to consider. There's an interruptible cast that you should interrupt at all times, and you should try to stack by the tank. When you kill the ads, they should die if possible by the tank. So the candles can be used. There are candles that are gonna spawn on the ground. The candles can be used to burn the bodies so they don't respawn with the next one. If you mess that up, you're very dead. If you do that every now and then, and you DPS boss, and you interrupt, and you use cooldowns, nothing should happen. Okay, you interrupt the interruptible cast, stack by tank, kill the ads, and try to burn some of the bodies. That's the strategy here. Once you've done that, Waycrest Manor is done. And thank you for your attention, guys. I hope you have a good one, and I hope to see you on the next one.